It's the end of February, and I promised you a video of what it ended up looking like at the end of the month. And as you can see, the bougainvillea are certainly showing their stuff, aren't they? The azaleas are blooming. The crepe myrtle has been cut back, but it's not leafing out yet. The drake elm is bare, but I think the blossoms are starting to, just the little leaf buds are starting to swell. So we'll see. I've weeded underneath, but I did leave the just the hints of pentas that are trying to make an appearance. Just a few things here and there. Who knows? Maybe they'll come back. Gardenia is still there. The zinnias think it's their time. I think it's still a little too cold for zinnias to be out, but I think I need to get some fresh leaves in pots. I've repotted some of the bulbs that I took out and cleaned. Some of them have come from the backyard, and I thought I would try growing them in pots this year. And I even have one, and I just did this yesterday, and I noticed that I have a bloom stem coming up, but I'm only going to do about 5 at a time, and so I have a longer bloom session. And these are the onions that I put in the ground just a couple weeks ago, wasn't it? Just the little roots. And I said, don't throw those away. So you can see, I did trim a few last night and we had them for dinner. So that's a cut and come again kind of thing. I'm working on amaryllis bulbs. I've pulled them out of the ground and I've let them dry out. Some of them are here in boxes. They need to be kind of cleaned. I have gotten quite a few. Like I said, I think I probably have about 100. And they are in just all different sizes. I even have some real tiny guys that I wanted to make into its own little box, just to see, would they actually come up and eventually swell up and be, like, here, grow up and be like me. Amazing. There's probably, I don't know, maybe 40 right there, 50 with that box. We cleaned out the whole area here. Rick helped me yesterday. He doesn't like weeding, so this was a real treat to actually have him do about 4 or 5 feet of this area. The tea plants, you can see I've cleaned them out. The ones at the bottom seem to die off when we have a freeze. We cut back the crepe myrtle. It's this one right here. And then this is the red maple. You can see over here the mango. I did not trim this mango, and I'm really sorry I didn't, because it's going to grow in through the plumeria, but I don't know, maybe that's a good thing since the plumeria is growing so big. I don't think I have any green on the plumeria yet. We'll check back on that. Here in Juicy Fruit Island, this is my pear tree. This is an Asian pear. It's been planted for 3 years and it's really done nothing but just try to survive. And I don't know. I keep giving it worm castings and trying to treat it really gingerly and see. Of course, the Brazilian spinach didn't miss a beat. I've cut back some and sauteed it and used a little bacon, and it was delicious. Let's see, in the beginning of February, I did cut back the moringas, and you can see that they're all starting to leaf out again because moringas are the tree of life, and they just keep going. So I have quite a few. The nice part was the peach tree is starting to leaf out. How pretty is that? No blossoms yet, but you know, we've still... This is the 27th, by the way, of February. You know, when I cut my moringas, I always try to leave a stem. I always try to leave something leafing out to take in that photosynthesis. But look at this. This is just a couple weeks and it's already starting to leaf out. As a matter of fact, look down here. There. Some of the tea plants, now some of you know that is cordyline, but I call them tea plants because I lived in Hawaii and that's TI, and that's what they were known as there. Do you see the pink containers? I have 1, 2, 3, and they are filled with Drake elm leaves, and they are breaking down. And there's the fig. That's a Chicago cold hardy fig. And here's the other one. And you can see they're just starting to leaf out. So hopefully I'll get some figs this year. Little cluster of sweet potatoes. And what was that, 2 weeks ago? Barely 2 weeks ago that I started, no, it was last week, wasn't it? That I started my my simple compost again. And I added a super soil to it, wet it down and added a couple gallons, I guess that was probably 4 gallons, wasn't it? It was 2 whole big watering cans. And yesterday I went through, and you can see I kind of ran my hand through. You can see that the paper isn't quite as obvious. And oh my goodness, I came up with like worms and worms and worms. So it really does break down quickly. Over here is the other brown turkey fig. And it hasn't started to leaf out yet, but it looks like, if you could see at the ends, it looks like those buds are swelling. I'm trying to get up close so that I can see it. Yeah, they do. They look like they're swelling. And I planted pentas down below, and you're not seeing a whole lot. We've had cold, but a little bit. You've seen some blooms. With all the cold we've had, I cannot believe we're seeing so many little yellow flowers here on the tomato plants. And I believe this is just one. If you look back behind there, you can see the little tomatoes. We tried to clean this out. This is all mulch that Rick made by chipping up the crepe myrtle tree branches. I'm trying to see any branches that are low enough for me to pull down and actually show you on the plumeria. Nope, nope, nope. We tried to get them a little. Wait, I spy. Can you see that? Just that little pink. Those are just the beginning of leaves. We're supposed to have nights in the 50s for another week to 10 days. And I'll bet after that, you're going to see those plumeria leaves come out. And the interesting thing is that plumeria trees really aren't supposed to survive in anything under, I don't know, about 50, 55. And these have been in the ground for, well, we moved here 17 and a half years ago, and they've been in the ground pretty much 16 years, let's say. And because I had them in pots for a while. And, you know, a section would die off or whatever, but I think the roots have climatized and been able to withstand some of our colder weather. So I think that's probably it. I didn't want to make this a long one. Look at the peace lilies. You know, they started out in pots. A neighbor, I just went by her house this morning. I just got back from my walk. But a neighbor had a little tiny peace lily, and she was giving it away. And I said, oh, well, thank you very much. And so I brought it home, and I had it in pots. And I had it in pots on my back porch. And I was watching another YouTuber who said that she always gives her flowers, she soaks banana peels in water and then gives them that water. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But what I didn't realize was that I really needed to dilute what I was taking up. And so, oh dear, I took all three and I gave them this, all three pots, and I gave them this banana water elixir, whatever you want to call it. And oh, they just, it was too strong. They started to turn yellow and get kind of gooey. And so I had to take them and clean them and try to get them to survive. And I thought, well, I'm going to stick them out here, and if they survive, they survive. Now this was just 3 little plant pots, and you know, maybe there were, I don't know, you know how spathiphyllum comes, peace lilies, is that it almost grows up like grass. You know, you have like one little plant, one little plant, one little plant, and it keeps shooting off side shoots. Well, you can see that it has adapted to out here. And peace lilies really don't like direct sunlight. You know, they will survive, but they won't bloom as well. They kind of like a little shade. Well, you can see I think it's probably about 8:30 now, and the sun is coming up over here to the right. Let me go back to my there, and that's the east. So I'm looking north. So these plants are on a north wall, and as the sun comes, it comes over that way. So it does get sun for most of the day, but it's kind of a winter sun, and it's a little less strong. And then during the summer, as the sun moves this way towards the south, this is almost in a shadow during the hardest part of the day. So as you can see, it's sending out some blooms. Can you see the little white blooms already? I was very happy there. And you can see that, I mean, I started it, it was like 1 and maybe 2 and 3, and it has filled in. It's aiming, it's aiming this way. Very pretty. So, and I'll just leave you with a full shot. Again, those are the tea plants, T-I. And then this way, let me show you those tea plants. Pretty, huh? And that's a moringa tree. That was the original one. And we cut that way back. We didn't leave anything on there. I'm hoping, I would like to have cut it back further, but Rick said his arm wouldn't hold out for hand sawing that far. So anyway, take care, everybody. I hope to see you back real soon. Remember, garden what you've got and enjoy what you have. Take care. Bye-bye.